Good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery, IIMFL and Smart Money Alliance. It's a beautiful Monday morning, December 14th, 2020. We get together most weekday mornings at this time, 8 o'clock Central or a minute or so before, and visit with our distribution partners. There are three primary types of distribution partners we have. We have affiliates. It's free and easy to become an affiliate. Who wouldn't want to become an affiliate? Because without any selling involved, you can earn extra income by helping others. All you simply do to become an affiliate, go here to the career tab, and you're able to actually enroll, get below the YouTube videos, see the affiliates, and then you can become an affiliate here. While we're not MLM, we're not network marketing, there are overrides, and so you can become an affiliate and recruit other affiliates and earn overrides off of their production. So role number one, which is found on the career page, is affiliate. Second role is the joint venture incubator. It's a collaboration, it's a business license agreement. We do a 50-50 revenue split. Joint venture small business incubator partners are more involved with clients. They're actually working with clients, where affiliates just simply refer them in. And there's some great training videos to learn really in depth what a joint venture incubator manager does and how they get paid. And then at the bottom of the page here, if you're interested in maybe running a joint venture incubator, you can check that box, hit send. Of course, put your contact information in and we can reach out to you. The third role is a credit literacy educator, and credit literacy educators focus specifically on helping clients with the Credit Boost program. Now, all incubator partners are also credit literacy educators, but that's not the same for affiliates. You can be an affiliate and not involved with credit literacy education. Our topic today is exciting, and it's about Credit Boost, which the program has been around for a while. We started earlier this year. It's proven to be very successful, but we're announcing an exciting enhancement to it today. So let's recap the basics, and then we'll talk about what's new, and then we'll wrap up by making sure that you understand what's in it for you. Because in brief, you make on average $500 for simply referring a client that goes through the Credit Boost program. And so again, at the bottom of the page is an inquiry form, and then they can let us know by checking that bottom box. Now, if you become a credit literacy educator, we'll create a landing page for you, so even the referred by is not necessary. But we'll get back to that in a minute. So what's the problem? So anytime, if you ever listen to Elon Musk, he is just one of the best motivational entrepreneurs you could listen to. And so what Elon Musk would tell us is, if you're going to offer a product, a service, or a program, it needs to not just be different, it needs to be better than what's otherwise available. Well, what you and I have access to with the Credit Boost is not only different, but it's better. No upfront cost for the client. They don't pay anything to enroll in the Credit Boost. And we're averaging a 100-point credit score increase in 30 to 60 days. Well, why would that matter? Well, if their credit is not so good, either because of derogatories or high revolving utilization, that reduces their access to capital, right? Because if your personal credit's not so good, you can't go get a mortgage. Could even affect renting an apartment, could affect getting approved for jobs, because increasingly employers look at credit, could affect your ability to get a car loan. But when it comes to business financing, we know there are many different types and sources of capital. Some of them look at personal credit, and granted, some of them don't. But it makes sense to try to optimize our personal credit as well as business credit. But we'll talk about that in a separate discussion later this week. So on personal credit, what you and I have the ticket to is to help the average person with no upfront cost increase their personal credit scores by 100 points. Often that will move them from not being qualified to qualified. Often that will move them from not having access to capital to having access to capital. It's a big deal. Now, with the Credit Boost program, there's a YouTube video here that's embedded. And when we create a landing page for you, which we do that for free, when you become a credit literacy educator, that will be on your page as well. We start with a free credit analysis, and that's important because we need to understand what their baseline is. And then we will enroll them. We'll send them a DocuSign, no upfront cost, so they can enroll. What they're saying is, yes, I want to be involved with the credit boost. I want help boosting my scores. I understand I pay nothing up front, but they do pay based upon the improved scores. You make $5 per point in increase. And that's where the math comes in, right? If it's an average 100-point increase and you're making $5 a point, that's $500 per client that you're making on average. Now, their credit scores could go up more than 100 points, less than 100 points. They're only going to be charged for whatever the results are. And of course, you're only going to be paid based upon what the results are. But that's outstanding. Now, what we have been doing is adding a couple unsecured trade lines that have proven to be effective, and those are highlighted here. The announcement that I wanted to make today, or I am going to make today, is now we're going to offer, in addition to the primary unsecured trade lines, AU accounts, authorized user accounts. Now, frankly, there's other places that you can go get an AU, an authorized user account, but they often cost a lot of money and you're paying up front and you're wondering, well, I wonder if this will work or not. Is it going to actually report? And Credit Boost, effective today, December 14th, 2020, we'll start adding AU accounts to our Credit Boost clients with no upfront cost. Again, it's all about results. Well, why does that matter? Well, let's say that we're going to add a $20,000 aged AU accounts. In other words, someone has a MasterCard, Visa, American Express, Discover, Barclays, what have you. They've had it for 2 or more years. They have a $20,000 credit limit with low revolving utilization and perfect payment history. Well, the way the AU works is that we would add the client to that card. They don't have purchasing power on that card, but they get almost immediately that trade line history now reporting on their personal credit profile. Why would that matter? Well, it could matter for a few different variables. Let's say that the client, let's look at each scenario. Let's say the client has credit cards, but they're using too much of their revolving utilization, which depresses their score. By adding a big credit card, now the credit limit, total credit limit has gone up, which dilutes the revolving utilization, and instantly the client sees a big score increase. And we'll talk about what we can do with that in a minute. Scenario 2 is maybe they have a thin file. So they're not using too much of credit cards, but they just haven't established credit, or they've gone through one of these credit sweeps where almost everything's gone. So by adding a big aged trade line that has been open for 2 years or more, that really helps build their profile, their strength of their profile, and it also does what? It increases their scores, often dramatically. And then the third scenario is it's just essentially establishing a stronger, healthier credit mix. So adding an AU account, it can be strategic in helping a client access capital. Now, it may be that they're ready to go buy a house, and this makes a difference of getting qualified for the mortgage. That's not our bread and butter. It may be that they want to buy a car, but their credit profile isn't strong enough, and this makes a difference. But from our world, what we're primarily doing is this is going to open them up so their credit profile now is strong enough for many of the sources of funding, business loans. Because again, while not all sources of capital for business funding look at personal credit, some do. So this is almost like an instant fix within 30 to 60 days, we say, often less than 30 days. It's just based upon the reporting cycle. So this is outstanding. This is another arrow you have in your quiver, because Well, you and I can help them build their loan package. We can build their business plan and their financial projections. We can help them get their key person policy set up, their personal financial statements, all of this gathered. Ultimately, they still need to be credible. And if they're coming up short from a credit perspective, obviously we can help them build their business credit. We'll talk about that later this week. But personal credit here is a near instant fix that almost always works. Now you might ask, well, almost always works. Why wouldn't it work? Well, there can be a few instances where adding new positive credit does not have the same impact. And it's not based upon someone having really bad credit. So it's not about their score. It's more about their profile. If they're having recent late payments, it's harder to recognize the benefit of the boost because a recent late payment really pulls your score down. If they've had a bankruptcy in the most recent 6 months, discharge in the past 6 months, it's not quite as impactful. But in general, it'll be very powerful. And so what we can do is often when we have a strong enough personal credit profile, there are some sources of capital that don't even look at proof of income. And that can help a lot because some of our entrepreneurs don't have much documented income. So pulling this together. So the Credit Boost program has been available. It's proven to be successful, and it's a resource that's available on a standalone basis or clients that are going through our full capital raise program. With Credit Boost, what we've been doing is adding primary unsecured trade lines, whether it be installment or revolving, and that has worked well. We've been doing the billing and the review of clients that have been in Credit Boost over 30 days, and it's working well. Now we're able to do even more by, in addition to doing 1 and 2, we can now add an AU account to their profile if they qualify, if they would benefit. And from that, see an even bigger score increase so we can immediately go to funding. So we're going to want to go to funding within a 30-day window of adding that new AU account, because the AU account, we're not going to leave on forever. It's for a period of time to boost them. You might have heard about our bridge loans, and we've done bridge loans. And so a bridge loan is where we work with a third-party equity partner. They loan the money to the client to pay down credit cards. This is either a complement or a replacement of that, because if we add enough new positive credit, we may very well be able to dilute the utilization of that. We don't have to have an inquiry and go take a loan out to pay down the credit cards. Okay, so let's get to your questions, because one of two things is happening. Either I've not explained this well enough, so you're not as excited about this as you should be, or you're really excited right now, because this is probably the biggest barrier that we have with clients and them not being able to get funded quickly. Even though we built their loan package out, whatever's happened in their life, they've not managed their personal credit well enough. And so this can specifically change their credit profile by adding both primary unsecured trade lines and now an AU account. Again, the AU account's not going to charge them anything up front. We only charge for Credit Boost after we've seen the proven results. We measure the results based upon Experian FICO version 8. We have the baseline, and then we are able to measure the improvement. So we're all crystal clear. There's no fuzziness. There's no gray. There's no dispute. Oh, my score didn't go up 98 points. No, in fact, it did, Mary. Here's what your baseline is. Here's what it is now. It did go up. And so with that increased credit profile, now we have access to capital. Okay, so we've got some questions coming in. We're going to start working on those. If you're not crystal clear on this, or if you don't get it, or it doesn't seem relevant, go ahead and type it in, because this is a big deal. Again, we didn't create the concept of authorized user accounts, and there are resellers out there where you can go out and pay a lot of money to get an AU account. The concern is, number one, you're paying up front and you're not sure if it's going to post and you're not sure what the actual benefit is. What you and I are doing with the Credit Boost program is we're eliminating the risk to the client. They're going to contract with us, but they have no upfront cost. They're only paying based upon the results. Okay, so Monique asked, are these unsecured primary trade lines seasoned? Okay, so these here are not seasoned, Monique. Seasoned means they have age to them. In these cases, we would be adding new primary unsecured. What could be added, number 3 here, would be we can also help you add AU accounts. And by definition, an AU account wouldn't be valuable if it wasn't large, if it didn't have perfect payment history, if it didn't have low revolving utilization, and if it didn't have history, if it wasn't seasoned. So the AU accounts are all those things. In these cases, what you're seeing here are primary accounts that are not aged or not seasoned. Thank you, Monique, for asking. Hopefully I answered that correctly. David's asking cost per bureau. So the way that you're paid and that we charge the client is off of Experian FICO version 8. David, you're paid $5 per point increase that the clients receive for the clients you've referred in. Now, you haven't had to sell them anything, David. All you've done is either you've used the landing page, which will provide you for free if you're a credit literacy educator and or a joint venture partner, or you can simply just go here to the inquiry form, put in their information, put referred by you, David, click that bottom box, hit send. We'll send the Credit Boost DocuSign. They'll execute that. We'll get a baseline credit score if we don't already have one. We'll help them add positive credit. 30 days later, we'll do another soft pull that doesn't impact their score, doesn't cost them anything, measure the difference, and then you're paid $5 per point. So David, on average, $500 per client. You're not selling anything. You're just referring them in. Thank you, David, for that question. Hopefully that answered. So the cost to the client is only off of Experian. The payment to you, thus correspondingly, is $5 per point improvement only off of Experian. We're keeping it simple. I know that TransUnion and Equifax exist, but we're focused just on Experian. Most of these trade lines that we work with report across all 3 bureaus, so it's still helping build out their full profile. All right, so thank you, David, for that question. Again, these questions are great. Keep feeding in. All right, so Barry says he's excited, and I'm excited too. He asked, so yes, anyone that's in the Credit Boost program, we can start adding AUs. But what we're going to do, let's again go through the sequence. So normally we're going to first contract with the client. So they're in the Credit Boost program, no upfront cost. We're going to make sure that we've done a credit analysis so we know what we're dealing with. Many of them that will already be in the system even before they've done the DocuSign. And then we're normally going to start with these, give these 30 days to post because that should get us some increase, how much we'll see. And then once these post, then we'll turn around and do the AU. By that time, we should have the business plan done, the financial projections done. Now their credit has skyrocketed and we're ready to go to funding. So Barry, yes, sir, it's available. Anyone that's in Credit Boost would be eligible. And those of you that are out pitching Credit Boost, this is just an extra arrow in the quiver. But frankly, to them, the bottom line is the same. No upfront cost, increase by 100 points or more by adding positive credit. We're not credit repair. There's many of you that are experts in credit repair. Kudos to you. We are not credit repair experts. We're adding new positive credit so we don't conflict with you. We complement you. All right. So thank you, Barry, for that question, which his question was, is this available now? And the answer is yes. Okay. EJ's asking about payment from clients, and that's a good point. So EJ, when a client enrolls in the Credit Boost program, again, we're going to send them a DocuSign. On the back page of the DocuSign packet is an ACH authorization. And it says, we're not going to charge you, Credit Boost client, anything up front, but after We've boosted the score. We're going to calculate that so we're accountable. We'll say, okay, your score went up by X points, and we're going to bill you for that, and we're going to charge the account that you provided us and gave us legal permission to pull from. And so I've got multiple examples here I can turn around, and I can show you how Quintez, we had a big increase and we billed him over the weekend. We have Paula, big increase, billed her over the weekend. Anthony, big increase over the weekend. Rashid, big increase, billed over the weekend. Reginald, and so it goes on and on. So the payment, unless they've been fraudulent and didn't provide accurate banking information, which then they'll be sued, they're going to automatically pay us because we're going to do an ACH draft, EJ. So I don't think we'll have problems with that. If the client doesn't pay as they promised to pay, then they're going to have significant additional cost. So it would be crazy for them to stiff us, which is us and you, because they're going to have then court cost and they're going to have significant other fees involved. So we would never bill them for anything other than the true objective improvement in their Experian FICO version 8. But if they don't pay, which would only mean that the ACH was bad, then of course you don't get paid, we don't get paid, but then they go to court, and that's going to be very expensive for them. So we're not having problems with payment off of Credit Boost. Thank you, EJ, for asking. And again, the purpose of boosting their credit is to get them ready for funding. And so obviously, if they stiff us on the credit boost, then they're not going to get funding until they resolve that. All right, Jim asked about what's it take to become a credit literacy educator. When someone signs up as a credit literacy educator, we're really doing three things. We're doing a background check to make sure they are who they say they are. Secondly, we're providing them at no cost a landing page so they can direct clients to it. So instead of going to the main website and worried about if clients list them as referred by, they would have a specific landing page that is coded to them. So there's no question for referred by. All we'd be collecting is the name, phone number, and email of the client. So that allows for more aggressive marketing, Jim. And then third is we'll also provide marketing materials like a customized flyer for that. So there's technically no cost to become a credit literacy educator. However, asterisk, there's $99 for the background check, which also includes the landing page and the flyer and that. So there is a little bit of investment there. Otherwise, we couldn't afford to be creating all these landing pages and all these marketing materials. The break even obviously is one client. And so if someone is not confident that they could generate at least one credit boost client, then they wouldn't want to become a credit literacy educator. But credit literacy educators are also supported and trained in teaching, because a big part of what we do as a nonprofit is teaching, and improving credit scores is an important part of what we need to teach people about. So as a credit literacy educator, you can teach in person, a little harder to do with the pandemic. You can teach webinars, or you can even just use the recorded YouTube webinar that'll be on your landing page. So hopefully that answered your question. Now, again, if you're a joint venture incubator, that's all included. So there wouldn't be a background check fee for our joint venture incubator partners. Robert asked, does he need to change his flyer? No, not necessarily, because the flyers and the material that we have tells the gist, and this is the bottom line. The rest is details. But what does the Credit Boost program does? It quickly increases personal credit scores by 100 or more points by adding positive trade lines. What you and I know just from being a distribution partner is that now, in addition to primary, we can add AU accounts without any upfront cost, which is a huge value. All right, so David has another question. What happens if the client doesn't have the money to pay at the end of the cycle? Well, we're going to screen off of that And that's a good point. You could have, David, someone that just stone cold broke. And so we turn around and we boost their scores, like we say, let's say by 100 points, and then they don't have the money to pay. Well, that's bad. Now, of course, once it's boosted, we're going to be able to go to funding in most cases. But yeah, if someone is insolvent, if they're in financial distress, then they shouldn't do this, just like you shouldn't make any other financial obligation if you don't have the ability to pay. So we'll try to screen on that. And of course, you can as well. Kwong asked, and I felt like I answered this, but I'll do it again. How are we tracking? So Credit Boost, we do soft credit pulls from Experian FICO version 8 every 30 days. And so with that is truth. That's a direct pull from Experian. It's not through Privacy IQ or Credit Guard or Credit Karma or someone else that's sending in third party. We're doing a soft pull directly from Experian. So it's good. It's the real deal. Remember, well, I shouldn't say Experian. When we were authorized to start doing pulls in our office, they came out, they did background checks on all of us, criminal, credit, financial. They surveyed the office, so we literally pull credit here. We have legal and contractual ability to pull credit. So we have access to good source data. It's not hoping the client will send us their next tri-merge credit report from some third party. It's the real deal. All right. John's asking, okay, so he's clarifying. There's no upfront cost to the client, which is correct. There's no upfront cost to the client for Credit Boost, correct. He's clarifying that the credit literacy educator receives, or the joint venture incubator partner receives $5 per point increase. That is correct. The client's paying $10 per point increase. And so that's very fair, because again, if they were just to go out and buy an AU account, let alone everything else, they would be spending a lot more than that in most cases. Plus, they'd be spending it up front with no assurance of results. So as Elon Musk has told us, don't do just something different, do something better, significantly better. Our model is significantly better. We can cast a very wide net because the clients have no upfront cost, where they're only paying based upon results. That's what they want to pay, is on the results, not on hopes or promises. So $10 per point is the cost of the client, and we 50-50 split that with our incubator partners and our credit literacy educators. In terms of affiliates don't represent the Credit Boost program. Affiliates are focused narrowly on the access to capital, helping small businesses enroll, no upfront cost, to get a minimum $100,000 capital raise with no minimum personal credit scores or minimum time in business to enroll. So we want to keep affiliates laser focused on access to capital, because our educators have a deeper involvement. Affiliates are kind of dabblers, and I don't mean that negatively, but they're doing many different things. So affiliates just think about access to capital, where educators can be also an affiliate, but they're also realizing this is a valuable program. Okay, and so Charlotte's asking a good question, and it's an astute question. There's a formula for having optimal credit, isn't there? It's adding positive, which you hear us talk a lot about, and then also in some cases removing or addressing derogatory. We don't do that second part. There's a couple reasons we don't do that second part. First, some of you do that, and we don't want to be in competition with you. And number two, we believe that often the best results from addressing derogatory items will happen through legal channels, having attorneys contest the legality in terms of the accuracy, the completeness, or the validity of what's being reported. So we refer to attorneys if the client needs help on the derogatories. We don't do that. We're not attorneys. We don't pretend to be attorneys. We're not marketers for attorneys. But if you yourself do the credit repair, so you're addressing the derogatory, then we can be a great partner and we'll help add positive. We're not going to compete with you. All right, so Victor's got questions about the logistics. Oh, no, it's a good question. So when you're running an incubator like Victor is, then you can have your own sales team. You should have your own sales team. We've talked about that before, and I know that we'll talk about it again this week. So as an incubator, you have your own sales team or business development team, whatever you want to label it. And so you recruit them, you manage them, you pay them. What you know, Victor, is on the credit boost, you're getting an average of $500 per client that's fed in. With that being said, though, how you want to pay your people is up to you. Some of you are wanting to use the workforce grant, so the government pays your employees. Some of you pay your employees or your distribution team based upon results. Some are paying upfront. What we've talked about, one easy thing is just pay them a flat $100 per conversion. That's the best practice. If someone refers you a client that enrolls, what I would encourage you to consider is if that client enrolls, just pay that referral source just a simple $100. It's actually less money than they might make otherwise, but they're getting paid quickly, they're getting paid up front, and that's enough to motivate the average person. If I can do no selling and just refer you clients, Victor, and you pay me $100 for every conversion, man, I'll keep your funnel filled. So that's what we would recommend. Hopefully that answered your question, Victor. Thank you. Jim's asking more about the background check. The purpose of the background check of credit literacy educators is to validate they are who they say they are. You might say, well, that seems kind of awkward. Well, we've been around long enough. We've had some people that enrolled as distribution partners and they weren't who they said they were. And then they did some unscrupulous things, which caused some reputational issues in the marketplace. And then those people didn't really exist as they portrayed them to be. So yeah, to be a credit literacy educator, you don't have to have a perfect background. You just need to be who you say you are, Jim. And as long as we can confirm you are who you are, we should be just fine. All right, thank you, Jim. So David's got a good question. On the affiliate program, see, remember, affiliates don't promote the credit boost. We discussed that. Affiliates focus on access to capital, and the answer to your question is yes. We pay overrides 3 levels deep to our affiliates, but that's for the access to capital program. Here we're talking about credit boost. This is promoted by our credit literacy educators and or our joint venture incubator partners. So just keep, so the answer, yes, David, there's overrides to affiliates. Just keep in mind, asterisk, this isn't promoted by affiliates. Affiliates focus on access to capital. Thank you for that question. Okay, so Monique says, just to confirm, we can submit clients that are not going through the funding process. That's right. Credit Boost is available 2 ways, Monique and everyone else, as a standalone, which you can drop them in right here or on your landing page. Or secondly, if they're in our capital raise program and we see that they would benefit from it, then it's kind of an organic recommendation, right? So if you're feeding someone in, Monique, for capital ready or access to capital, you wouldn't even need to really talk about credit boost. We'll see if they need it in week 2 when we do the soft credit pull, and we'll help them with it if it's the right fit. But yes, absolutely, you can refer people into credit boost as a standalone. This is a gold mine. I don't know. I don't know that I can convey this strongly enough. There's so many people that have jacked up credit and it's impacting their life goals, homes, autos, business loans, what have you. And you and I have a resource that meets what the marketplace is looking for. Number 1, no upfront cost. Number 2, only pay based upon results. That's what people want. So, yes, so this is great, and it can be used outside of the business loan environment for people that are pursuing mortgages, automobiles, or other purposes. Now, you and I, Monique, we know that personal credit is so important. I'm buying a car from California. I've not been to California in years. I found a specialty car that I wanted to buy. There's one for sale in the whole United States. I'm in Texas, as you probably know. And so I called up, was able to apply, able to get funding through Bank of America. And I've never seen this vehicle in person. I've never been there. They're not asking for any proof of income. You know, credit is so powerful in being able to do things that you want to do in life. You and I have the keys to help people do the things that they want to do, whether it be buy an exotic car, buying a house, renting an apartment, better qualifying for a job, or of course, getting a business loan. All right, next. Robert asked about Credit Boost leads. So on the Credit Boost program, you know, promoting this is going to be the simplest thing to promote. And again, Craigslist is probably one of the better ways to promote it. But you can also communicate with the key influencers, right? So Monique's talking about going to car dealerships, and we've talked about on a recent training going to manufactured home lots like Clayton Homes and Palm Harbor Homes. There's so many places where people, because realize, Robert, people often don't care about their credit until they want to use it. So the carrot is what they're wanting to use it for. They're ready to go buy a manufactured home. So that's the carrot. They want to buy a traditional home. They want to get a car loan. They want to get a business loan. So if you're looking for leads on the Credit Boost side, it's going to those key influencers where people are trying to get approved for financing, but they're not, and you become the resource for them. Thank you. And so Robert's asking again, so AU stands for authorized users. AU stands for authorized users. It's legal, it's ethical. I just got off the phone with our attorneys this morning. Before we had this call, we were going to have one more compliance check. And authorized users are legal, ethical, permissible. And so there's nothing gray about it. And it's, again, it's just one part of the overall Credit Boost strategy. We're going to add primary, permanent trade lines as well. Thank you, Robert. Barry asks, he's got a client that needs the AU only. Well, you know, the process that we've set forth, and maybe we'll have to revisit it, Barry, is they enroll in the Credit Boost program. We take a look at their credit profile, and typically we're going to add primary trade lines first, and those will report. These usually, I'm not supposed to say this. I'm supposed to say give it 30 to 60 days, and that's mentioned over here. But the truth is around the 30th of each month is when these have been reporting. So we're recording this on December 14th. You all could each feed in 10 people this week, and all 10 of them should have a boost come January 1st or January 2nd, right after the holiday. So does it really take 30 to 60 days? Not really. It's just all based upon the cycle of reporting. But normally what we do, Barry, is we would do this first, and then we do the AU as a second step. If we need to revisit that with you on a client-specific basis, we could, but this is the way that it normally works. Okay, David asked about on the derogatory side. So you're right, David. If someone needs help addressing derogatory information, many of you are credit repair professionals, great. You take care of it. And of course, you would charge them whatever you charge them for. If they're going to go work with attorneys, of course, the attorneys are going to charge them. Attorneys aren't going to work for free, and it's not included in our fee structure. So any expenses that they would have for addressing derogatory would be outside of the per point basis that we're addressing. Now, when we do the credit analysis with them, of course, we can give them some advice. Like I was talking to a client yesterday. He had put his home mortgage in deferral. He's current again, but they were reporting that it was in deferral for 3 months, and they told him that they wouldn't. And so, you know, we can give them advice. Go back to your mortgage note holder and ask for them to report it differently. So we can give general guidance and advice, but we don't do credit repair, nor do we pay for credit repair, whether it be through attorneys or otherwise. Yeah, refinancing their home is great. You know, if you look at the statistics, Charlotte, this year, I believe is a record year for the number of homes financed and refinanced. This is very much a period, unfortunately, of economic haves and economic have-nots. There are people that are hurting, that are worried about being evicted and struggling, and then there's others that are refinancing their homes or buying second homes or buying cars and doing other things. So with that being said, so yes, if someone's looking to refinance their home and they need a credit boost, then this would work. Also, when you run into Charlotte, which isn't really your question, but when you're running into people that that are just hurting from a cash flow perspective, recommend that they either work for you under your incubator or that they become just simply a credit literacy educator. They can start promoting this and making an extra grand a week. I know to some of you, a extra thousand a week, I don't know, maybe that wouldn't pay for your lunches, but for the average American, an extra $1,000 a week of money going into their account makes a difference between paying their bills or not paying their bills or being able to set up their business properly. So we offer the Credit Boost program through the Credit Literacy Educators because it's a source of earned income. There's not much work that has to be done, but some people just need some cash flow. And so this can be a solution to that. All right, Charlotte. So she's starting to get clients that want to refinance. Charlotte's a mortgage loan officer. I'm starting to get clients that want to refinance, but they have credit issues. Yeah. So within 30 to 60 days, we can get their scores up by an average of 100 points. Now, we don't guarantee the 100 points. And again, they only pay based upon the results. Could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less. But the answer to the time frame that you're looking for, Charlotte, is normally in the first month, we'll get these taken care of the first 30 days. And then the second 30 days, then we'll do the AU account. So that's the answer to your question, I think. Monique, who's very knowledgeable, restates, yes, AUs are legal and ethical. And I'm reading her statement. As long as you don't guarantee a score, which obviously we're not guaranteeing a score. So yeah, we're all on the same page. Thank you for that. Let's see. Kwong asked, do you contact clients after 30 days or so, guidance if no credit score increase? So yes, every 30 days, we're taking a look at their credit profile, seeing what's working and what's not, and next steps. In most cases, this will work. Could be something that's unique with their profile where it doesn't. So yes, Kwong, you are correct. Charlotte says, thank you. You're welcome. David asks, are people that we turn down based upon current credit if we don't think we can get a significant boost? No, we don't turn anyone down for the Credit Boost program because we're here. We are a nonprofit organization and we are committing to improving financial literacy and credit scores. So we'll help with anyone, but you're right, David. Maybe someone comes in and based upon their circumstances, they don't get anywhere near 100 points in the first 30 or 60 days. An example could be maybe they are continuing to have recent late payments. So they're just digging a deeper hole every month. We're not building, they're taking on water. Their boat's taking on water. Well, if they can't comply, we may need to work with them to resolve some core issues, like maybe they need earned income to pay their bills. Maybe they should be a credit literacy educator. Maybe an extra $1,000 a week would help them pay their bills on time. But we're not discriminatory and saying, oh, no, you're not good enough to be in the Credit Boost program. Okay, so we ran a little bit long, but this is really, really important. Again, Credit Boost is a resource that's automatically available to clients that are going through the capital raise process. As we can see over here, when they're going through the 4-week curriculum, and the second week we talk about credit, and we even do a soft credit pull to see where they're at. Of course, we want to focus, so I highlighted week 3 too. There we go. So in week 2, we're looking at business credit, but also personal credit. And so the soft credit pull occurs in week 2. And from there, we can do that free credit analysis and see if they could benefit from credit boost. So if you refer someone in for Capital Ready 3.0 now, or access to capital, you don't need to worry about credit boost. It happens automatically and you'll get credit for it. In contrast, if it's someone that's just standalone, they're not in a capital raise program, certainly you can refer them into credit boost, and you can either just submit them here on the inquiry page at the bottom of credit boost, or if you become a credit literacy educator, which I would recommend, then we can create a landing page and branded marketing flyers for you that will help you be even more effective in marketing. All right, so hopefully this seemed relevant. It very much is, because in the end, what you and I do is we help people meet the credibility standards so they get approved. So rather that be helping them get a commercial address so that their business looks more legitimate, having a business plan, having a key person policy, or in this case, getting their credit scores where it needs to be. Thanks everyone for your time, and we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a good day. Bye.